Hi everyone, welcome to this Google Digital Garage training session on Safety First, Protect Yourself Online, in partnership with Which. My name is Benedict. I'm a trainer for Google's free skills training program, Google Digital Garage. Just a bit about myself. I'm an experienced coding specialist and digital skills trainer, as well as having a background in the digital creative industry and worked in this sector for over 20 years. I would also like to introduce our amazing moderator, Zoe. Zoe is also a Google Digital Garage coach and will be interacting with you and answering just about all of your questions via the instant chat to the right there. My apologies for the sound at present. One of the alarms has gone off, but should return soon. Zoe, you can see, so also a Google Digital Garage coach, and will be interacting with you and answering just about all of your questions via the instant chat just to the right there. You can identify the moderator by her name, as well as a little blue spanner next to her name. Now, just before we start, I just want to call out a few things to help you today. Firstly, if you're having any trouble viewing the webinar, please do try refreshing your page. If you would like to join the instant chat, you do need a YouTube account, which you can very easily set up by clicking on the box on the right there. Now, we will be pausing throughout the session to answer some of the questions that Zoe will kindly pass my way. So please do feel free to fire away with the questions throughout. Now, just to let you know, we are running this Google Digital Garage virtual training as part of a broader offering of courses which recently have been updated, which is quite exciting. So if you would like to check out our schedule of upcoming webinar training, please see information on this in the description below, which links you through to our website. Okay, so that's the housekeeping done. Let us now get started with Safety First, Protect Yourself Online in partnership with Which. So first of all, I just want to introduce to you a little bit about Which, because so Google's deep understanding of technology plus Which's expertise and focus on making things easy for consumers to understand really did make these two organizations natural partners to create and deliver this course. As the largest independent consumer organization in the UK, Which has a long history of providing help and advice on the issues that matter most to people. Today, we will educate you about web safety, so you can feel confident about going online while staying safe and secure. Okay, because this is a big thing. I will be informing you about different things, but it's not really to scare you, but more to inform you so you know about the different risks, you're aware of them, and then, you take steps just to make sure that you avoid them. All right, so by the end of this course, you should be able to, so a couple of different things we'll be covering: ways to be safer online, how to identify common threats online, and then also gain control if you have been scammed. Okay. So Large is going to, hopefully by the end of this is what we're trying to do with this talk particularly, you will be aware of the most common online threats, know how your devices are susceptible to attackers, also be able to spot the common signs in a potential scam email. Now we're going to have a look at some examples to really help you, and then feel empowered with steps to recover from mistaken clicks in fraudulent emails, which we'll go through in quite a lot of detail, and then also understand how to make strong passwords that are easy also for you to remember. And also feeling confident that you can actually venture online safety, because this is a big thing that we are trying to inform you so you are ready and you're not sort of scared of the unknown, but you will get to know about the different things, the different risks. Okay. What would be really great, and this is I was going to say right from the beginning, if you can tell us where you're logging on from, that would be really nice. So please do introduce yourselves to Zoe. Zoe said, saying hi to all of you. So please do reply and say where you're logging on from. So, it'll be really nice if you can actually put some of the different, the different things of where you actually are based and everything. That would be really nice. So, I myself, I'm in Sheffield. Zoe, she's in Leeds. So we're spotted around different parts of the UK. So if you can tell us where you are, that would be fabulous. And obviously different countries as well. Be fascinating to find out different countries that you're logging on from. So, because the big thing, digital tools have the power really of uniting individuals, creating an inclusive and accessible environment, and really fostering support networks. So largely, this is what we have the intention of doing to help you feel welcome, of course, because you're here for this talk. So please do introduce yourselves. That would be fabulous. Thank you. I'll keep my eye on that and introduce and say hi to you as I see you appear. So let's go through some of the different. Welcome, Jane in Norfolk, UK. Welcome, Jane. It's great to have you here. That's wonderful. Sorry, I was just about to start the next one. I suddenly saw your name appear. So do carry on, everyone. Welcome. Introduce yourselves. It'd be fabulous. I'll come back to it. I'll try to keep on this for now on the cybercrime stats. So I'm going to go through a couple of the different things just to make you aware of the different things. So 132 billion have been stolen by hackers last year. Okay. 18 million COVID-19 scam emails blocked by Google every day, and more than 700 fake websites mimicking Netflix and Disney sign-up pages since the 6th of April. So, of course, this is happening a lot. A lot of this is around one in the different areas. But don't forget, this is to make you aware of them, not to scare you off a lot of them. Excellent, Boo-Boo, South African. Welcome from South Africa. I'm actually from South Africa. I was born and grew up there, so that's great to have you here, Boo-Boo Lioness. Okay, great, wonderful, welcome. So there's a couple of different things. So these are the stats just to make you aware of the different things that are out there. But don't forget, this is to make you aware, make you comfortable with these different things, and then be able to make sure that you defend yourself and take action so you don't have issues. All right, let's tackle first of all, some misconceptions about using technology, going online can actually create plenty of uncertainty. So of course, here we're here to provide you with the kind of certainty of this knowledge and everything so that you know about this. Now, okay, I don't have anything worth stealing, top left there, we've got there. So, your identity alone is actually worth money. And now, according to CIFAS in 2017, there were record levels of identity fraud. Another one which a lot of people think is just a big business that will be attacked. Now, according to the Institute of Directors, the UK's 5.4 million small businesses are collectively attacked more than 7 million times a year. Now, don't forget, this is to inform you, not to scare you, but just so you know these stats as well. Public Wi-Fi is safe. Now, free public Wi-Fi isn't a safe space. People think it's safe if it's password protected, but that's often not enough. So the fact that the connection has a password may force you to pester the staff for the code, but it definitely doesn't make you any safer. You don't know what information, that connection is sorting onto you, so it's providing you. So we're going to go into these into much more detail. Obviously, you can use public Wi-Fi, but just to make you aware of these different things and what not to do on public Wi-Fi. Going on to the next one there, at the bottom line there, my smartphone isn't vulnerable to cybercrime. Now, all smartphones can be vulnerable to cybercrime. Now, iOS, the Mac, Apple devices are thought to be more secure because it has a closed ecosystem, but it pays to be careful. Yes, in some ways it is more secure, but it really does pay to be careful. And because there's still that around, virus and everything around for Macs as well. And then opening spam can give you a virus. Now, just opening spam. Now, most email service providers do a good job of filtering unwanted messages into spam folders, but they can still occasionally slip into your main inbox. Now, if this does happen, the best course of action is simply to use your email's delete option and remove the message. Now, opening the message itself is unlikely to install a virus. Opening attachments in spam might, though. Okay, just so you know that. Now, devices can't get viruses. Now, devices, tablets, iPads can indeed get malware, either from installing untrusted apps, ones that aren't from the official store, or by going to a malicious or infected website. Now, these generally go via the browser to make sure you browse safely, but no computer, tablet, or smartphone is 100% virus safe forever, I'm afraid. Okay, and of course, with all these different ones, antivirus and all the rest, they keep updating, but obviously there's the latest ones which just, hit the internet, so all these things. Okay, pausing for questions. Are there any questions so far? I mean, we're going to cover quite a few different areas in this talk. We're doing quite well in the first part of the talk. Okay, great, thank you. So yeah, we've kind of finished now already the first section, but there's a lot to cover in the next sections, and this is largely to inform you. Okay, so let's get started with these now. So ways to be safer online. It's really kind of like practice tips, you can really start to use to keep yourself safe online. Okay, so ways to be safer online. All right, so protect your devices as they are just as vulnerable as a computer, okay? Now, using public Wi-Fi can make you very vulnerable to attackers. Keep safe whilst transacting online, particularly buying things, accessing your bank account, all those kind of things. Now, look at your privacy and security settings for social media and all platforms regularly, okay? And then also choose strong passwords and extra layers of security to protect yourself. Okay. All right. Now, protect your devices. Let's start with the first one. The big thing is every device you own is a gateway to your private data. Sorry, I know most people say data. I say data. Very different my way. But just as you be careful with your wallet or passport, you should be just as careful, if not more careful, with your devices. Okay. Now, tips to really help protect your device. Keep your software up to date. Keep updating it. Very, very important. Because one of the things with the software, it doesn't have to be, just antivirus one or malware software, but other software that you use, it will be constantly updating for security purposes as well. Use a screen lock. Okay, so after a certain time, you can lock the screen, and then lock down your phone if you lose it. Okay. So watch out for public Wi-Fi spots. Now, of course, public Wi-Fi is very useful, but it might leave you open to potential security risks. Now, this is, because you can't be certain these networks are 100% secure, already know what they are collecting on you. Now, I do feel as well, I do look as well a little bit into the environment that the public Wi-Fi is operating. If it's a busy place like a shop, I mean, obviously, you should always be careful, but I feel a little bit more comfortable in a place that is busy, people walking and buying stuff, than people sitting down, like in some form of traveling or something, where I feel a little bit more uncomfortable with different things. Okay, we've got now a video to cover these different areas, and let us get started with that. Here goes.
Very often, we access our email services or social network accounts on the go. On mobile devices, all services that you use are accessible through apps and therefore only one tap away without having to log in every time. That's why it is important to learn how to keep these devices protected. Locking your device helps you in case you leave it behind or if you're worried about someone else scrolling through your phone. Most mobile devices offer options to create a PIN or a pattern. If you prefer a PIN, it's a good idea not to use consecutive series such as 1, 2, 3, 4, or personal information such as your birthday or address. The same principle applies to patterns. Try not to use patterns that are easy to guess like geometric figures. Some devices also give you the option to hide your pattern when you draw it so that it becomes invisible. It's good to be cautious about the apps, games, and videos and attachments you download because they could harm your devices and put your personal information at risk. Beware of anything that claims that your phone is infected or asks for your password or personal information. You could accidentally download unwanted or potentially harmful applications or give someone you don't trust access to your account. To prevent this, a good rule of thumb is to always download apps from reputable sources like the official App Store on your phone. It's also important to read the reviews and comments from other users and look for potential safety problems with the app. This can help you decide if it's secure to download the content. Once in a while, you might also receive notifications to download system updates on your mobile. It's important to keep all your devices up to date since new versions can help fix security problems identified in previous versions. Finally, always remember to be extra careful whenever you go online using a network you do not know or trust, such as when using free Wi-Fi at a local cafe, because it could be easily intercepted. When on public networks, avoid signing into your accounts or making purchases, since your passwords and financial information could be compromised. Now you know the importance of screen locks, safe downloads, system updates, and Wi-Fi networks. Decide what safety settings are right for you and set boundaries around how much information you share, when and where while using mobile devices.
Just one thing I want to point out to you as well, if there's anything that you missed there, then you can actually go back and have a look at this particular talk. You can go back to any of the sections that you feel you missed and you want to take some stuff down. So it's up to 24 hours when I finished, from there till 24 hours time. And you can go back and check it. It'll still be the same URL, the same address and everything on YouTube. You can go back and see it. Okay. Because there's a lot we will be covering there, and there's a lot which was in that video which we'll be underlining and giving a little bit more detail. All right. Now, we're going to go through these different things. So some common public Wi-Fi mistakes. So doing your online banking. Okay. The big thing, online banking or shopping via public Wi-Fi, using unsecured websites or an unsecured, network is risky. And now, banks use encryption to keep your details safe. But while some public Wi-Fi hotspots are encrypted, most aren't. And if the network isn't secure, there's an increased chance a hacker could eavesdrop on the data your device transmits and receives, potentially recording, login details or other sensitive information. Now, of course, one thing you must never do with a bank, of course, you've just got a bank card. Wonderful. You start entering information at that stage, because don't forget, that is very important information that you must not let anyone see when you're actually signing on right from the beginning. Later on, when you're working with a different bank side, there's already layers of security and everything that they set, which is good. But, you've got to be careful with that kind of thing. So what to do instead? So for greater security, you should always use your home or workplace Wi-Fi, really, to do online banking or to make any financial or otherwise sensitive transactions. Now, if you really have to do a bit of banking on the move, you could use, instead of using the public Wi-Fi, 3G or 4G or 5G now, rather than actual public Wi-Fi, and make sure that the bank's web address begins HTTPS. Now, certainly on the desktop, you'll see unsecure site, and often your browser will warn you not to go there. So just a warning about that. So make sure that it is HTTPS while doing financial transactions, even after, starting from a website beginning with HTTPS, log out immediately if you get onto one of those. Now, assuming, Wi-Fi is faster than 3G, okay, this kind of concept. So public Wi-Fi is enticing. It really promises a far speedier internet connection than your phone's 3G, but you might access a weak connection or be too far from the hotspot's, router, or the broadband may simply be very slow. Now, speed will be even more of a problem if lots of other people, are also using that, the network, because you'll be competing for bandwidth. So what you could do instead, your phone's data connection may offer faster speeds than a public Wi-Fi network. Now, the latest standard 4G is, if available, offers a real boost in speed over 3G. So in both cases, be aware of data limits. Now, some Android phone manufacturers let your handset automatically detect the faster option, Wi-Fi or mobile device in any given hotspot. The option can be accessed via the phone's Wi-Fi settings. Now, Apple's new mobile operating system from iOS 9 onwards, there is a feature called Wi-Fi Assist, which will automatically switch you to 3G or 4G if the Wi-Fi network weakens, okay? Okay, now, not securing your device. This is why it's a big mistake. So any security weaknesses on your device will make it more vulnerable. Now, failing to enable a firewall on a Windows PC is a mistake, as this helps defend your machine. Now, on Macs, having the firewall switched on, it's switched off by default, is less of an issue because of the way Apple's operating system, OS X, and apps are actually designed. But still, for both Macs and Windows PC, it's vital you have a good Windows security package installed. Now, failing to apply updates to the operating system and often software as well, updates are designed to patch security loopholes that they've discovered. So on a Windows computer, you can make it harder for others to access your files over a public network by selecting the public network option under Network and Sharing Center. Okay, so what to do instead, some of the different things. Now, in Windows, you can actually access the firewall settings to enable it via the control panel, okay? You then need to make sure it is turned on for every type of network option, including public. Now, also, in the control panel, you should actually click the Network and Sharing Center and then click the link to your Wi-Fi network, labeled Home, Work, or Public. Okay, now select the public network option to limit access to your PC over the network. This turns off your network discovery, making your computer invisible to others on the network. It also disables public folder sharing, stopping other network users accessing your folders. Now, Windows should display confirmation of the change. Now, if you have a Mac, it's worth knowing that more malware appeared in the first quarter of 2017 than in the whole previous year. So don't assume Macs don't get viruses. It's no longer true. And install a good antivirus security program. Now, as I said, if there's a lot of details you want to check out again and see, when I've finished up to 24 hours, you can go back to the same YouTube and everything and watch that part of the video. Okay, doing too much on free Wi-Fi networks. Now, why this one is a particular mistake, of course, is tempting as free open networks can be, since they avoid the hassle of login and passwords. They can be risky to use. So the hotspot may well be legitimate, perhaps in a cafe wanted, to provide a service for its customers. However, you can expose yourself to extra risk by using open networks. The lack of a password makes it easier for others to potentially intercept your data. So what to do instead? So avoiding free networks is the safest option, though this may seem overly cautious if you're going to use one. You should take a moment to verify its authenticity with the provider and avoid making any financial transactions whilst online or using services you need to log in or to, in order to use, such as Facebook or other social media sites. Okay, now installing software using public Wi-Fi. Now, software installed using public Wi-Fi can potentially expose your computer to malware infections. Now, you're at a little to no risk if you're simply carrying out regular PC updates or updating existing programs or apps. But if a free hotspot has been actually created by someone with malicious intent, a favorite trick is to prompt you to install an update that can load a program to steal your personal data. So it's not actually an update. So what to do instead? So not installing or updating software using public Wi-Fi is the safest option. It is far better to use your secured home Wi-Fi network to download programs to your laptop. Smartphones and tablets tend to be less at risk because of their secure app store environments. Now, if you want to be super safe, obviously I don't want to make you sort of paranoid at absolutely everything here. Please, no. Consider using a virtual private network, VPN. Now, yeah, so there are more details, particularly from which Thank you very much, Zoe. She is going to provide you with a link there so you can check them out in your own time. Whew. Okay, that's quite a lot I wanted to get across to you, because it's really important to make sure that you're aware of all these different things. Obviously, I don't want to make you paranoid to everything to do with public network, no, but just be aware of these things and what preferably not to do on public Wi-Fi. And of course, if you're in the area and your phone's using public Wi-Fi, you can always just turn off your public Wi-Fi. Certainly, I know on my iPhone, then I'm using 4G, 3, or whatever I'm using. So then it really helps. Okay. All right, shopping safely online. So buying things online, of course, is quick, easy, and gives you access to a large range of products. But if you're not careful, there is a risk of your personal financial details being stolen. Now, online shopping is big business. Of course, as you know, there are some easy ways to stay safe when looking for killer bargains. All right, so make sure the retailer is legitimate. If it's a brand you haven't heard of, look for reviews particularly, and check where they are incorporated. If you can't find who they are and where they are based, probably best to avoid for now. So those two things. And then check the company's refund or return policy and contact details. Go through those things. And then use a credit card, PayPal, or Klarna that offer consumer, protections from fraud. So shopping on mobile. If you're shopping on a mobile phone, you may find it easier to shop using apps, belonging to reputable retailers. This is because, hackers are less likely to focus their efforts on individual apps. Okay. All right. What do you consider when deciding where to shop online? Okay, so let's have a look at a couple of different things. If you share some of these with Zoe, that would be fabulous. So what do you consider when deciding where to shop online? Where do you shop? How did you know ID was safe to use? What particular areas? And how many of you actually shop online? Now, there is a bit of a delay. I'm speaking, and I know it takes a bit of time till it comes through to you. But if you can share with us what you feel you would avoid and everything, that would be fabulous. I'm going to have to carry on, though, otherwise I'll be sitting there waiting. So shopping online securely. So use familiar and verified websites. Look for the padlock. Okay, the padlock and https:// on all the pages. Check privacy policy and contact details. Okay, really check that as well, because if someone hacks in and manages to get your details, you need to contact often them to find out what's if it's in transaction with them. Avoid storing card details, especially if shopping at less known websites, and pay with secure payment methods. I've said that already. Okay, PayPal, Klarna, these different ones. So you can really be 100% sure. Now, maintain your security settings. Okay, passwords. We all know about passwords. There can be a real bind sometimes, but the big thing is how strong is yours? And, how many of us actually use one password for multiple accounts? Okay, don't worry, you don't have to confess that one, but have a look at this now. So update your privacy and security settings. This is so important. Run a privacy and security check to check up to protect your account and connected devices. So you can see here some of the different details there on the screen there on the right. Okay, be cautious with apps. Only download apps from your device's official app store. This is a big thing. So, of course, as you know, with Android phones, you've got Google Play Store, and with iPhones, you've got Apple's App Store. So it's much more secure with these, because, of course, with these, they've gone through, strict approval processes, in place before apps can actually be listed, which really does mean you're less likely to download a dangerous app that hasn't been approved. And of course, read app reviews and always check which permissions an app requires from your device, such as access to your location or your contact list. And in most cases, app permissions threaten your privacy rather than your security, but better to be safe. A malicious app could actually easily cause damage without your knowledge if it has full access to your smartphone or your tablet. Okay. Strengthen your password. Now, we're all familiar with passwords, but how strong is yours? So let's go through a couple of the different things here. So password considerations, the strength of your password. And then, of course, there's using password managers to actually store all your passwords. And then the other thing of two-factor. There's two ways we describe it: two-step verification or two-factor authentication. So strong password. The easiest way to create strong passwords is to start with 3 random words. For example, cat stranger blue, 14 pounds. You can then reuse that same password for different sites, but with different variations. For example, you've got dog stranger green, $14. If you find it too hard to remember, use a password manager that will construct and save passwords for you. Then you only need to remember one password, and that one password must be very, very good. So there's different ways you can do with this as well. One of the methods as well is you can turn letters like I to the number 1 and O to the number 0 and things like that as well, and also including yes, here we go. So, and also including things like exclamation mark and things like that, question mark, hashtag. So keeping track of multiple passwords can really be really difficult. So password managers such as LastPass create strong passwords and store them in encrypted form. It even logs you into sites when needed. Now, the beauty of password managers is that they can be set to work across multiple devices. All the details controlled by one central master password. Take great care of this, because if you're locked out of LastPass, you can't change any of the passwords that it has actually created. Now, if time allows, the big thing is to get started, you go to lastpass.com, for example, to go through the whole process and everything. But we won't do that today, anyway, in this session. But there's a couple of other places you can use. Now, this is another one, is Google Password Manager. When you actually want to generate a secure password, you turn Sync on in Chrome. You go to the Chrome the search engine, and then go to a website and sign up for an account. Tap on the password text box. Tap Suggest Strong Password. If you don't see this option, tap Password, save your password, and then Suggest Strong Password. You'll see a preview of the password. To confirm, tap Use Password. Finish by signing up for your account. Your password is automatically saved to Chrome. Now, if the site does not accept the password, you can change it. If a website doesn't accept a password suggested by Chrome, let us know. Of course, it's very important that you inform Google about that. So two-step verification. Now, when you enable two-step verification, also known as two-factor authentication, which we had before as well, you can actually add an extra layer of security to your account. You sign in with something your password, and something you have set up. So, for example, a code sent to your phone via text, or to a security key, which is even more safe. So it sends across to your phone typically. Now, which have some advice. You'd like to know more about setting this up, there is a link which Zoe will provide you with. Thank you very much, Zoe. So that's fabulous. So that's for setting up two-step verification and everything to help you. All right. All right, on to this one now. So, of course, one of the big things is, of course, antivirus software. Now, these examples, have actually been covered, particularly by Which Best Buy. So, of course, Which has done a lot of research into this, which we really do appreciate, because, of course, we've got this to help you. So there's the free one, and then there's the paid one. All right. So we've got Bitdefender, AVG, Avast on the free side, and then the paid ESET, Bitdefender, and Norton. So, the big thing is It's important to protect the information on your phone or tablet. Otherwise, a lost device could lead to identity fraud or financial loss. You only need one program, and none of your devices are exempt. Protecting your PC or Mac and devices from a virus is easy with internet security software. Now, which have, as I was saying, have tested out a multitude of different antivirus software, both paid and free. And the slide shows basically the latest top picks. Now, free and paid antivirus software can block viruses and malware, protect both PC and Mac. Now, remember, your phone and are vulnerable, and tablets, for example. So make sure to install antivirus on those as well. In particular, Android. Okay. And there's some guidance there. Thank you very much, Zoe. Zoe's providing with the guidance there. Any question on this particular area, which is quite a major area on this side, which I wanted to make sure I got through absolutely everything. Any questions so far? No questions at the moment. So I hope this has been helpful. I know I'm going through a lot of detail, but it's to try and make sure that you are fully informed about all of this. And as I've said twice already, you can watch this after. So if there's anything you missed, you can come back to it and check it out. Okay, let us move now on to the next section, common threats and what you can do. Okay. All right, so let's have a look. Now, what exactly is malware? This is a big question. So there's different types of malware. Can you actually name the different types that there are? Now, there's two types. Sorry, there's a bit of a delay. Ooh, boo-boo. Is it safe saving passwords on the actual device? It's not recommended that you do that, boo-boo. No, because I would recommend that you put it somewhere that it is even in a safe, which is written as, you know what I mean? But somehow, preferably, if you can memorize it somehow, so you just will not forget that. If you're going to use a password manager, that one password is the most important, and you've got to remember that. If you can really memorize that, then that's ideal. I hope that helps you a little bit. Okay, so different types of malware. We've got different types as ransomware and Trojan. All right, which come up. All right, so we're going to cover these different areas that we're going to be covering. So malware, so software which is specifically designed to disrupt, damage, or actually gain authorized access to a computer system. A computer virus is a type of malicious software program, malware, that when executed replicates itself by modifying other computer programs and inserting its own code. These can steal information from your computer, stop it working altogether, and a host of nasty things. Now, going over these different types of malware, which I was mentioning, ransomware and Trojan horses are common types of malware. Now, ransomware tends to display a notification stating that your computer or data have been locked and demand a payment to be made for you to regain access. So that's ransomware. Now, Trojan horses are types of types of software that will actually install itself without you knowing, and then do all sorts of things like capturing your keystrokes, deleting your files, and even hacking other computers on your network. Now, hackers who want to use malware to infect other people's computers need a site or sites on which to store the dangerous files. They don't use their own servers, which could easily be traced back to them. So they will hijack a legitimate website and upload their malware to it. Then they will then actually use things like spam emails to target unsuspecting people into downloading malicious files. Now, don't forget, it's not from opening the spam, but opening the attachment. So how could you get malware, which I know I cover again here, just to make sure you're clear on this. Opening attachments or links from unknown or spoofed emails. Now, emails are spoofed to look legitimate and contain an attachment, we'll give some examples just now, or link that will infect your machine when clicked on. Downloading software from malicious sites. You know, if you're downloading software from a trusted source, there are still traps that can infect your computer. Online ads, malicious online ads, also known as malvertising, is just another way your computer can get a virus without any realization or traceable evidence. Now, criminals often place clean ads on trusted websites and leave them in place for a while to gain credibility. After some time passes, they put a malicious code in the ad that infects your computer when clicked on. There are even Trojan horses that look like programs that claim to rid your computer of viruses, but instead introduce viruses onto your computer. It's very common for this program to give backdoor access to unsavory users that want to do harm to your computer. Now, I have had a lot of experience with websites as well, and there was a whole section actually on YouTube and this person describing how they set up backdoors to your website as well, because of course, again, it's another area. And of course, a backdoor is basically an easy link. They can just go straight back in and they've got access to it till you find that backdoor and you delete it. So it gives you a rough idea. Sorry, this is not to shock and worry you, but more just be aware of the different things. Okay. So attachment scam. Here we've got some malware. Now, it might be a little bit difficult for you to read. So Zoe will just take me off the screen. You'll still be able to hear my voice, just so you can see it a little bit more clearly. So never open an attachment from unknown senders, of course. Even if you know the person, be wary of suspicious attachments that seem out of character, especially if it's something you're not expecting. It may indicate, you know, their email account has been hacked. So this particular example, we've got here this message, and you've got there at the top, look out for warning messages in your email inbox. So you've got there, be careful with this message, you know. So there's warning there. And then some spam or fake emails come with attachments promising must-see photos, videos, and so on. And there again, you've got antivirus warning. One attached contains a virus or blocked file. There we go. They've already got that information. So this example, of course, you know, sounds like you're sending a message. Is actually there to trick you into looking at the attachment. As with all other scam emails, so do not open the attachment and delete the email. That's what you've got to do. Okay, so having a look at this, pop-up scams, malware. So pop-up scams used to be rife on the internet, and thanks to pop-up blockers, we see a lot less of them. If you still seeing them, do enable the pop-up blocker on your browser. So that's the pop-up blocker on your browser. So does anyone, you know what to do if you see one of these? First, okay, these pop-ups are designed to scare you and tell you something, you know, worry, or that you've won a prize, either way. So it's either like you owe £50. I mean, I've answered phone calls. My wife's passed across to me, and it's a person saying, yeah, you owe £50, you owe £250. And then I just realized and put the phone down. And it's kind of like these kind of things. So this is with the pop-up ones. And of course, you've won a prize. Well done. Either way, of course, it's not real. And then secondly, don't click on the pop-up itself, just the close button, if you can see it. Often they'll make it really hard to close. Whatever you do, and of course, don't forget, you can close that tab. On the Mac is Command, I believe it's Command W, and with certain browsers, and with the PC is Control W. Whatever you do, please do not call the phone number for support, because of course it is not what they're providing there. Rather, a group of scammers waiting to rob you of hundreds of dollars under false pretenses. So, you know, whatever you're getting, whether it's email, whatever, saying for bank, you know, so the best thing you can do is close and ignore these pop-ups and periodically run a virus scan. Okay, let's go on to the next one here. Phishing and other scams. Now, phishing are attempts by scammers to trick you into giving out personal information, such as, you know, your bank account numbers, passwords, and credit card numbers. So this could be through emails, messages on social media, chat apps, you know, like WhatsApp or text. The messages will normally be something encouraging you to change your password or asking you to verify your details, and can seem very real. These types of scams are designed to gain your trust, so you can hand over money or personal details, including doing things like providing, you know, fake customer support in social media. Now, normally a phishing PHISHING email or message looks like it has been sent from a genuine bank or financial service provider. Now, banks would never ask you to reset your password online via an email, and neither would a retailer unless you prompted a password reset yourself. Be on the lookout for the email address from which the email has been sent from. So, for example, hs-bc.co.uk instead of hsbc.co.uk. So an easy giveaway that this is a phishing message is potentially poor grammar as well. It is very essential that you're watchful about any suspicious messages. Now, according to which, there has been a rise in phishing emails purporting to be from big name brands like Argos or Morrison's, promising vouchers. If you're ever in doubt about any message you've received on email or WhatsApp, just ask yourself the following 3 easy questions. Am I expecting this message? Do I know where it has come from, and can it be verified? Is it too good to be true enough to put money in your bank account? If you're still not sure, contact your bank directly or the company the message claims to be from and ask them to verify they sent it. So look for their number, their legitimate number from maybe a letter they sent you or their actual website. Call them there and check with them there. Another type of scam, the extortion or sextortion scams, which threaten to leak compromising footage or photos of the victim also, unless they actually pay. Now, in this case, it would be best to notify the police as soon as possible. Scammers, they want to actually make people being afraid and paying up. This is the thing. It's often the fear or the, well done, you've won this amount of money sort of thing. Okay, so here we've got the COVID-19 scam phishing. Now, recent events, of course, of COVID-19 have sparked a sharp rise in topic-specific online scams. Here's an example of a scam message that has been circulating, claiming to be from the UK government, Gov.uk. The sinister scam claims that your movements have been monitored through your phone, that you must pay a fine or face a more severe penalty. If you have received this text, you should ignore it. It's a phishing scam designed to steal the payment details of victims. Now, according to the Information Commissioner's Office, ICO, the UK's privacy watchdog, the government is legally allowed to use personal data from phones to track and monitor behavior if it helps fight the spread of coronavirus. You should know that the location and usage of data is anonymized and the government cannot track specific individuals. Furthermore, this is information takes 12 to 24 hours to process before the government can even discover whether the public are abiding lockdown rules. Okay. So scam emails, phishing. So fraudulent emails may actually claim you owe money, have won a lottery prize, or ask for your help in actually moving money from one country to another. You've probably seen a lot of those in return for a hefty reward, or are designed to look like legitimate messages from actual banks, businesses, and other organizations. So the big thing here is, can you actually spot, what might be suspicious with this email? The big thing is, typically the email contains a link to a fake website run by criminals that looks like the real thing, where you're asked to enter your account details. Don't believe promises of money, prizes, or gifts. Always question, any offer you get out of the blue. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Now, how to mitigate this threat? Do not click the link and delete the email. Okay, HMRC scam phishing. Here we've got here, you have a pending tax refund, $265 from HMRC to proceed your application. Please complete your form via. So we've seen a big increase in this sort of scam, wherein victims are sent a fake email or text telling they are due a tax refund or owe money. It's also common, with the invoices following a supposed Apple purchase. Now, though the actual text or email is allegedly from HMRC, the number will have nothing to do with the genuine company. When you receive something like this, even if you think it's genuine, never click the link. go directly to your browser to log in to your account or phone your bank using the number on their verified website. It only takes a moment and keeps you safe. So how to mitigate the threat? Do not click the link, delete the message, block the number. And just to remind you, never assume a text from a company is genuine. Even if it's in a previously legitimate thread, it could still be a scam. A genuine bank will never contact you asking for your PIN, full password, or to move money to a safe account. Avoid giving out your number on publicly available websites or social media profiles. Spam and suspicious texts can be reported to your network by forwarding them to 7726. Okay, here's two examples. Now, which one is incorrect here? Now, if you can see this, it's a little bit difficult to see. So, yeah, but it's a bit difficult to see. But right actually at the top, when you actually click to see who sent it, this is quite a useful thing. You can see that it says, Amazon account and everything. And it's got a lot of things that look very typically Amazon account. But when you click on the address that has sent it, so it's often got the information about your address, about the address that sent it, it actually comes through, thank you, Zoe, so you can see it a little bit clearer. I know it's still quite small. It says crose@one.iu.edu. Yeah. So it's got another email, and it is not an Amazon account. Okay. So with these two different things, the big thing is that one, crose@one.iu.edu, isn't an Amazon account, and that's the big difference. Okay. So the Amazon invoice. So continuing from these previous two slides, clicking through on the items does take you to the genuine listings for them on Amazon. So this helps build confidence that the email might be the real deal. So the big thing with farming, PHARMING, getting you to click the link is not the objective. They want to enter your secure details. It's got nothing to do with Amazon. Instead, it's attempting to collect or farm, PHARM, your email password. This could give the hacker the means to log into multiple accounts that use email address and password. Having different passwords for each of your services can limit the impact, even if you are hacked. Now, the page has convincing branding for particular services here. There's a link at the bottom that appears to be Apple branded, but it is not genuine. So how to mitigate this particular threat? Do not enter your details and delete the email. Okay, so then we've got messaging app scams, farming. So the big thing here, this one particular one, it can appear in different places. This one is to do with WhatsApp as a platform to try and scam people into thinking they're getting a great deal from this particular one, Sainsbury's, whatever it might be. It's designed to trick you into distributing the scam to your friends on WhatsApp. The promotional message is sent straight to the phone of a victim, calling on the recipient to click the link in order to claim their prize. Clicking on the link will often lead you to a website survey that will require you to fill in more personal information before the prize is sent to you. Now, when the survey is completed, sometimes you may ask, so there's all these different things to see. If it was a genuine site, there would be a dash or /. So the thing is, you would check against the real place which actually exists. Okay. Can you spot when you're being phished? Now, there is a phishing quiz. Thank you very much, Zoe. Zoe's going to provide you there with a link there, so you can do the phishing quiz. Because I can see now already I'm running out of time, so I'm going to have to move quite fast to finish these last ones. So social media scams. Okay, so impersonating friends and family to request money transfer or through fake promotional deals, adverts, and competitions. Now, social media scams are used cunningly crafted by a scammer to appear genuine using official branded logos, and then fraud. A common type of online fraud is farming. This is when are actually directed to a fake version of a website and looks like the real thing, or make a phone call, and it's not really them. And then impersonation. Facebook accounts were compromised every day. This leaves not just those who have actually been hacked vulnerable, but also all the people they are connected to. So remember, scams can target anyone and can catch you off guard. As with phishing, if you start to get messages, even from people you know, asking for money or private information, stop and get in touch with it and check it is them. Farming can be, very hard to spot because the site can seem identical to the real thing. 2017, a very sophisticated farming attack targeted 50 banks and may have affected over 1,000 people. So, okay, social media scams, fraud. Although it looks like a real Apple Store, it is not genuine. So the profile image is more the real account, but it may not appear if you click through. So, fake goods and sales. And of course, reputable shops and companies have a sponsored by their account, but that just means they've paid to advertise. Scammers might use the name and logo, hoping that visitors won't notice. What to look for? A good sign that something is wrong is an unbelievable price. Look out for multiple hashtags in an attempt to generate additional traction, the site. It's a spammer's tactic. And then cloned Facebook accounts. Scammers have realized that by faking a real account, they can impersonate people by cloning their pages, creating identikit profiles, and even copying posts and pictures from the real account to make the fake one look more convincing. Now, the real account owner may be blocked, so they can't actually see the imitation account. The potential scammers send friend requests to people in your friends list. Once linked, they may ask for money or spread spams or scams. Basically, that's what they cover. So do report these to Facebook and the clone person if you see them. And then, of course, there's brushing. This is when you start getting packages and items you've never ordered. Yeah, sounds great, doesn't it? But it's not. Amazon is a favorite target of this type of scam. Now, this might not sound like fraud, but, and compromise, but the details are. Online quizzes with social media logins, answering a few questions to figure out which type of data you are might seem harmless, but you could be authorizing a third party to have access to your personal data. Okay, pausing for questions. Any questions at this point? Because sure, we have certainly covered a lot. Great. I'm on to the last section, how to gain control if you have actually been scammed. Now, am I at risk? The big thing here. So if you open and read a scam email, don't worry, you are low risk. This alone isn't enough to actually install a virus or steal your personal details. You'd need to take further steps for your data or device to be in danger. So receiving a friend request on social media from someone you don't recognize won't harm you. Medium risk, if you click a link sent to you via scam email or in a social media post, there is some risk. This can install a virus onto your device or make your web browser display annoying pop-up messages. If you click a link, the best defense is running a full scan with your antivirus software. High risk, if you type a password or financial details onto a scam site, you need to act, take a deep breath, but act fast. The next slide explains what to do. So if you've been scammed, disconnect your device from Wi-Fi or Ethernet cable. The amount of time disconnected isn't that relevant. What is important is that if their computer has been accessed, they run you run a full security scan and change the critical passwords, banking and so forth. If you have an antivirus software installed, scan your device, remove any viruses. Now, if compromised, change the password to your email, passwords, or on any account where you have sensitive information. And where applicable, if you handed over bank details, call your bank and credit card companies immediately to let them know that your information has been compromised. The bank will normally freeze your accounts or keep an eye on your accounts, and the credit card companies will reissue the cards with new numbers to prevent fraud. There's also Action Fraud, actionfraud.police.com, police.uk/report fraud. So this should give, really, so you can report it, everything. Very important that you do that. So stay one step ahead, check out the different things. We've got the different areas with with this one, which can actually alert you to scams during the rounds and provide practical advice to really help you keep one step ahead of the fraudsters. So now that's which.co.uk/scam alerts to make you aware of the different things before they hit you, as it were. Now, recently there's been a significant rise in online scams related to COVID-19. Google are providing tips to help people spot and avoid these scams. Thank you very much, Zoe. She's providing you there with a link there for that particular one. On to questions. Any questions so far? Any questions on that now? Perfect. All right. So thank you, Zoe. You've been marvelous. Okay. So what are your next steps? All right. Obviously, taking all that information, do by going back once, after about an hour or two, come back to this. So up to 24 hours, you can see this video if you missed anything. So everyone, thank you for all your questions, for all your contributions and everything. Great meeting you all from different parts of the world, including South Africa. We're going to wrap up here. We're out of time. So I hope that has been useful dive, particularly, into dealing with safety first there. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the session, if you're interested in more training for Google Digital Garage, there are a few ways you can continue learning. Running many more Google Digital Garage webinars, very nice and interactive, different subjects. You can see the different ones there. It's at the bottom here of the link. Also, if you'd like to carry on learning online in your own time, check out the Google Digital Garage website online courses. There's one called Fundamentals of Digital Marketing, for example. And then finally, if you have any feedback or questions on today's session, and you want to obviously provide it now, just on the chat, or if you want to go further, team@thedigitalgarage.co.uk. Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you so much, Zoe. You've been absolutely fabulous. We look forward to welcoming you again to another Google Digital Garage training session soon. Thank you.